So change?
Yeah.
Yeah? Maybe we'll do the trivium. Yeah, let's do the trivium. Hello and welcome to How Do I Homeschool? My name is Rebecca Devitt and I'm the author of Why on Earth Homeschool? The Case for Christian Homeschooling. It's written from an Australian bent, but it's good for anyone. Today we're going to be talking about the trivium and the trivium in classical education. So listen in and we'll get started.
We're going to get started.
We're going to get started, aren't we?
We're going to get started.
We're going to get started too, yeah. Are you going to get started or is Mummy going to get started?
Mommy's going to get started.
Okay, I'll get started. So, what is the trivium? So the trivium is three roads or three phases of education that we teach children with in the primary and secondary years of their education. So trivia, three roads. Tri is three, via is roads or ways. So we like the trivium because we claim, classical educators claim that it teaches children according to the natural developmental bent that they are at during different parts of their childhood lives. So the trivium, it starts with the grammar stage, and children in this stage are quite young, so starting from say 4 or 5 up until the junior high school years. So Dorothy Sayers called these children poll-parrots, and she called them poll-parrots because they love reading books over and over again, repeating the same thing over and over again. And you've probably got things in your head now which you learnt when you were quite young because you love learning it. With this little guy here, I can read him the same book over and over and over again, and he loves it. And now he finishes my sentences because he knows the book so well. And so we like to take advantage of this in the grammar stage. We teach children jingles which they can use for life, particularly so they can learn how to learn from those things. That's also the other reason we teach them Latin, is so they know the meaning behind. If you teach a child Latin, you're teaching them not only the Latin language, which is a dead language, but you're teaching them the basis of all the Romance languages. So this makes learning English a lot easier. So children can go, oh, Latin, dormit, sleep, and so when they might hear a word like dormitory, they go, that's a place for sleeping, or dentist, tooth. There's so many words which come from Latin, and it makes learning a lot of, especially the big words, a lot easier because you know it. So trivium is a Latin word. A lot of classical educators will also make the point that you can teach a child another of the Romance languages at this age. They make the point that the mind is not a receptacle so much as the muscle. And when you teach them Latin, it's like you train them to learn the language.
What's Latin doing?
Yes, you need to be quiet when Mummy does this thing. So when you teach children Latin, you're teaching them to work that muscle, and so it makes learning other languages easier. It makes understanding the English language a lot easier as well. So that's the grammar stage. The logic stage is a stage where children are described as pert. So this means they're a little bit more argumentative and cheeky, if you like. And during this stage, we want to teach them to use logic and teach them to argue well. These are skills that they will need to understand the things that they've learnt so well. They kind of want to know the why and the how in this stage. But if we stop there, what we end up with is students who are kind of know-it-all and they can argue well. So they're a little bit insufferable. So during the second stage, we're teaching them discernment and understanding. But we do need to move on from the logic stage to the rhetoric stage in the trivium. This is important because we can teach children wisdom. Wisdom of when to say things and when not to. So the Bible has a really good verse on this. It says, we should be slow to speak and quick to listen and slow to anger. And so I think on further reflection, I think that's what the rhetoric stage does really well. It teaches children wisdom. They've got all this information, they know how to argue well, but are they going to say something all the time, or are they going to be wise and discern when to speak and when not to speak? And that's what you're teaching them in the rhetoric stage of classical education. You're teaching them wisdom. Now, in doing all this, you're teaching a good man to speak well, so that people will want to listen to the good things they have to say. And those sorts of people, I don't know about you, but I feel like sometimes they're sorely lacking in our society. It's something that we really need. So that is the trivium, and that's what you will get if you give your child a classical education, whether in a homeschool setting or in a school setting. The quadrivium, what is the quadrivium? Well, the quadrivium is usually done in a tertiary institution, so later on. But by teaching children the trivium, so the grammar, logic and rhetoric stages, you're preparing them to learn the quadrivium really well, so other subjects. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video today. We're going to be talking a lot more about the different stages of classical education and more about classical education. This channel is a channel that looks at Charlotte Mason and classical homeschooling topics, but just anything that will help parents educate their children well. So if you like the video, press the like button and subscribe. You can also press the bell button, which will tell you when I've put out a new video, and you can listen to it and be educated and hopefully entertained by it. This little guy is fairly entertaining. But I will talk to you later. Thanks for listening.